today I want to show you a few tips and tricks on how to play fast on the guitar. Not everybody needs it, but certainly there are some songs that require some fast runs. And if you get into like metal or jazz or some like certain styles will require that you can play fast. And so I thought maybe this could be useful for a lot of you. And it's been a journey for me. I wasn't born being able to play fast. Actually, I couldn't play fast for a long time when I started playing the guitar, and I didn't really care because I was into the blues and more traditionalist blues, that is. And later I got into gypsy jazz, Django Reinhardt's music and all of his followers. And it's almost a requirement there to play fast. So I had to learn it. And I want to tell you about the kind of steps that I went through to be able to play fast. So the lick that I want to use as an example is actually a gypsy jazz example. It's a diminished run that goes into E minor run. So it's a nice. You can play it on the B7 in an E minor, song. Here it goes. So the first thing that anybody should do when they try to play fast is that they try to play slow. And this might sound very obvious, but really, like, you have to focus on kind of learning these runs slowly and accurately. And so, like, really the first time I did that was when I got Stefan Rambell's Getting into Gypsy Jazz book, and that had some exercises in it. And he essentially, teaches you all of the arpeggios for all of the chords, and then shows you how to play around those chord notes. And then also gets into scales, but it comes with audio, and all of the audio is kind of slow. And then you have to build up to the appropriate speed on your own. And so I combined some of his exercises and turned it into what I use as a kind of practice method, but also as a warm up. So essentially, what I do is I put on the metronome very slowly at let's say 55 or something along those lines, and then I, let's say, pick the A major scale and I play around the notes of the A major scale, and you'll see in a second what that means. But from a technical and speed standpoint, I first only play on the click, and then I play 2 notes per click, then 3 notes per click, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 9. And that is really important that your brain gets used to those subdivisions. It does something in your brain, it rewires some neurons in there that is really important. So let me show you just a quick snippet of what I do. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I will need my metronome for this. And then I just start playing. Then I go on to the 2 subdivisions. And I go all the way up and down the neck, and then I go to 3s. And so on and so forth. I was rushing it a little bit, but you get the idea. So I did the slow and trying to build it up, and you can always increase your speed on the metronome a little bit, usually by between 1 and 3 BPMs, depending on what you're playing. But then I got up to a certain level, and then I wasn't getting to where I wanted to be. So then I found this guy, Tom Hess, on the internet, and I just really want to give everybody credit on these things. And Tom Hess had a great concept that I learned from him, which was, when you try to play fast, you're trying to, you can approach it from 2 different directions, essentially, because playing fast is really about 2 things. 1, accuracy, 2, speed. So you want to be accurate and fast, right? One doesn't work without the other. So when you play slowly, you're really approaching this from the standpoint of accuracy. You're very accurate, and you're working up the speed. And then Tom Hess kind of introduced this concept that you can also come in from the speed angle and just forget about being accurate, because like really the truth, and this was really a breakthrough for me mentally, is that anybody can play fast. They just can't play fast and accurate. You can play fast. You can all play fast. You just can't play fast and accurate. But that's something you can build up over time. So, like what he was kind of teaching in these videos, and he's still out there. You can probably take classes with him. He has a lot of free content too. Was to just play fast and don't worry about how sloppy you are. So let me just show you the same run that I played, and I'm just going to play it super fast but sloppy. Right? So I could play it super fast, almost like that, right away. But it's not accurate. It's pretty sloppy. But it like kind of teaches you that your brain that you are able to play fast, and it teaches your brain that when you play fast, the physics are different. So when you play slowly, and how you place your fingers and how you work out certain things doesn't necessarily work when you play fast. So it's important to also practice fast. And I would say like probably the most important thing when you play fast and sloppy is to try to play it over and over, and then try to get more and more accurate. But at the same time, I think probably the most important thing is that you try to get rid of all of the tension that you have, right? So for example, if I play it like this versus, of course I practice this a lot, but you sense the difference when I'm tensing up versus when I'm really loose. It just sounds better when you're loose. And actually tension is probably one of the main barriers, if not the main barriers to getting getting fast. So those are two things: start slow and accurate, and then bring in the fast and inaccurate or sloppy, and then kind of bring those two things together, and you will meet in the middle, and you will be fast and accurate in the end. Now, another thing that is really important that I kind of realized, and a lot of people talk about this when they talk about playing fast on the guitar, is the way they teach it is they call them bursts. So you can just kind of practice little bursts of the run, right? So, for example, this one. Let's say that. Right, so practice that, and then you can add the next note to it. And then the next note. Right, and then eventually you get to the whole passage. But the really the way I like to think of this is that when you play, there's certain groupings of notes in that passage that are easy to play. Obviously, that's not what you need to practice. You need to find the areas that are problem areas that are hard to play. When you have, let's say, down picking, right at one after the other, or like a bigger stretch for your fingers, and you'll notice that. You'll notice those hard parts. So let's say if I play this run. So let's say this is the hard part for me. Then I can just practice that. And even within that, I can identify, like maybe there is one specific problem area within that. So it could be maybe this. Maybe this string change. You can literally practice it and try to speed it up and try to do the same concepts that we did before. Slow and accurate, fast and sloppy, and then bring it together. Get rid of all of the tension. Right? And you can also, if you have a problem area like that, string skipping is your problem, and you get that up pretty fast. Then you can start adding notes on either side, right? Right, so you kind of expand from that problem. So that's also very important. And then when you do that and you practice the isolated problem areas and then you play the whole passage, you will find that you can actually play it much better. It's like a miracle, when you put it together. I mean, they all consist of these little pieces. Okay, I'm sorry. I just have to look at my notes real quick because there's a lot that could go into this, but I want to keep this very simple. So kind of ties in with getting rid of the tension. What really did the trick for me was that I was dating my now wife at the time, and I was practicing in her apartment. And she had a small apartment. This was about 10 years ago. And then, so I had to play very quietly, and I was practicing on the acoustic. I couldn't use headphones. So I had to play very quietly and practice very quietly. So a lot of my practice was really, really quiet and very gentle. And then she had a nice roof deck. So I would sometimes, when the weather was nice, I would sit on the roof deck and I would practice out there. And again, I didn't want to disturb the neighbors. So I played very softly. So that's, and I kind of developed this, that's where I kind of started really feeling that control that I had over the tension in me. Because when you have to play it very softly, you have no other choice but to let go of the tension. So let me just show you quickly, right? Like, so something along these lines. really barely touching the strings there. And then, of course, sometimes then you can add the tension back, and like really the tension. I think there is a time and place for the tension, but it has to be intentional. And also, Bruce Lee said, I believe that the real strength of a punch or a kick is in the speed, right? You have to be loose the whole time, except when you hit the opponent. In that split second, you want to tense up for a split second, right? So that's kind of the control that you want to have on the guitar as well, right? So I can also kind of play with the tension a little bit, and guitar is probably too compressed right now, and you could hear it better on a acoustic. But let me just show you what I think. Right, so I kind of went through a range of volume and tension and attack on the guitar. And so then what like really made me click, and when the light bulb came on for me about that concept was when I was actually watching a guitar/watch channel called Caseback Watches. And I forget his name, but it's a great channel if you want to check him out. He's a gypsy jazz guitar player also. Excellent one too. And the way he described it is that, when you play without tension and you play fast, you kind of let your left hand fly over the fretboard. You never like really anchor your hand on the fretboard. You just let it fly, right? And you touch down just enough to press that string down in that right moment to play fast. So anyway, those are really the concepts that I use to play fast. I could dig into each one of those for hours and hours, but I think if you keep those in mind and build up your practice routines around those kind of concepts, trust me, you will be able to play fast within a relatively short period of time. I mean, there's nothing replaces practice, but I hope this is helpful. Have fun practicing.